In the late 1970s, the city of Los Angeles was gripped by a wave of terror that would forever scar its hillsides. Young women were vanishing from the streets, only to be found days later, lifeless and discarded like trash on the rugged slopes overlooking the sprawling metropolis. The press dubbed the killer the Hillside Strangler, a name that evoked the chilling isolation of those dumping grounds. But as the investigation unfolded, the truth emerged. This wasn't the work of one man, but two cousins bound by a twisted pact of depravity. Their reign of horror spanned just a few months, but claimed 10 innocent lives and led to one of the most grueling trials in American history, culminating in a landmark sentencing in 1984. Today, we're diving into the facts of this infamous case, a story of deception, betrayal, and justice finally served. Buckle up. This is the tale of the Hillside Stranglers. Let's start at the beginning. Angelo Buono Jr. was born in 1934 in Rochester, New York, to Italian immigrant parents. His childhood was marked by instability. His parents divorced when he was young, and he moved to California with his mother. Buono grew into a volatile man, charismatic on the surface, but harbors deep-seated rage toward women. By the 1970s, he ran an auto upholstery shop in Glendale, a suburb of L.A., and had a history of petty crimes, including theft and assault. He was married multiple times, fathered 8 children, but his relationships were abusive. Buono saw women as objects, often boasting about his conquests, and even forcing some into prostitution to fund his lifestyle. Enter his cousin, Kenneth Bianchi, born in 1951, also in Rochester. Bianchi's early life was even more troubled. Adopted as a baby, he exhibited compulsive lying and behavioral issues from a young age. Diagnosed with various disorders, he bounced between jobs, security guard, ambulance driver, but dreamed of becoming a police officer. In 1976, at age 25, Bianchi moved to California to live with Buono, who was 17 years his senior. The cousins quickly bonded over shared fantasies of power and control. Buono, the dominant one, mentored Bianchi in his misogynistic ways. They hatched a scheme to pose as pimps, luring women into a false sense of security before turning on them. The murders began in October 1977. Their first confirmed victim was Yolanda Washington, a 19-year-old sex worker. The cousins picked her up on Sunset Boulevard, pretending to be undercover cops with fake badges. They drove her to Buono's home, where they assaulted and strangled her. Her body was found the next day on a hillside near Forest Lawn Memorial Park, cleaned meticulously to remove evidence. No fingerprints, no fibers. This became their signature: abduct, assault, strangle with ligature, wash the body, and pose it provocatively on a hillside, often near freeways or police stations, as if taunting authorities. The killings escalated rapidly. Just 2 weeks later, 15-year-old Judith Ann Miller, a runaway aspiring to be a dancer, met the same fate. Her body was dumped in Glendale. Then came Alyssa Caston, a 21-year-old waitress and dancer, abducted after leaving work. Unlike the others, she wasn't a sex worker, showing the killer's opportunistic nature. By November, the body count rose with Dolores Dolly Cepeda, 12, and Sonia Johnson, 14, 2 schoolgirls snatched from a bus stop. Their young ages shocked the city. Christina Weckler, a 20-year-old art student, was next, followed by Jane King, 28, a Scientology student, Lauren Wagner, 18, a business student, Kimberly Martin, 17, a call girl, and finally, Cindy Hudspeth, 20, a secretary, in February 1978. Each victim was between 12 and 28 years old, from diverse backgrounds: students, waitresses, runaways. The method was consistent. Lured by the fake cop ruse, taken to Buono's house for hours of torment, strangled, and dumped. The strangulations were brutal, often using the victim's own clothing or rope. Police noted injection marks on some bodies, suggesting experiments with torture methods like electrocution or gas. The hillsides Elysian Park, Griffith Park, near the Ventura Freeway, became graveyards, earning the moniker that stuck. As bodies piled up, 5 in just 10 days in November 1977, panic swept L.A. Women were warned not to go out alone. Hitchhiking plummeted. The LAPD formed a task force of over 100 officers, but leads were scarce. No witnesses, no physical evidence. Rumors swirled. Was it one killer? A cult? Even a mafia was suspected. The press frenzy amplified the fear, with headlines screaming about the Stranglers' elusiveness. The break came unexpectedly in January 1979, over 1,000 miles away in Bellingham, Washington. Bianchi had moved there in 1978 after a falling out with Buono, taking a job as a security guard. But he couldn't stop. He murdered 2 college students, Karen Mandick and Diane Wilder, luring them with a fake house-sitting gig. Sloppy this time, he left evidence tying him to the scene. Arrested on January 11th, 1979, Bianchi initially denied everything. But when detectives linked his M.O. to the L.A. cases, similar strangulations, clean bodies, they pressed harder. Bianchi cracked, but with a twist. He claimed multiple personality disorder, insisting an alter ego named Steve committed the crimes. Psychiatrists initially bought it, but others saw through the act. Facing the death penalty, Bianchi flipped, confessing to the L.A. murders and implicating Buono. He detailed how they posed as cops, used Buono's home as a kill site, and even sold fake client lists from victims to justify abductions. In exchange for testifying, Bianchi avoided execution, pleading guilty to 5 L.A. murders and the 2 in Washington, receiving life sentences. Buono was arrested in October 1979 at his upholstery shop. He denied involvement, but evidence mounted. Fibers from his shop on victims, witness accounts of seeing women at his house. The trial began in 1981, the longest in U.S. history at the time, spanning 2 years with over 400 witnesses and costing millions. Bianchi's testimony was key, though erratic. He recanted at times, claiming coercion. Prosecutors painted Buono as the mastermind, Bianchi as the eager apprentice. Defense argued contamination of evidence and Bianchi's unreliability. In November 1983, after 10 months of deliberation, the jury convicted Buono on 9 counts of murder. 1 charge dropped. They spared him the gas chamber, deeming life in prison a harsher fate. Too good for death, one juror said. On January 9, 1984, Judge Ronald M. George sentenced Buono to 9 concurrent life terms without parole. This defendant poses a threat to society as long as he lives, the judge declared. Bianchi was already serving life in Washington. The Hillside Stranglers story didn't end there. Buono died in prison in 2002 of a heart attack at age 67. Bianchi, now 74, remains incarcerated in Washington, denied parole repeatedly. Their case highlighted flaws in the justice system, delayed coordination between agencies, the power of plea deals, but also the dogged pursuit of truth. Los Angeles healed, but the hillsides remember. This wasn't just a story of monsters. It was a reminder of vulnerability and resilience. If you're fascinated by true crime, hit that like button, subscribe for more, and let me know in the comments, what case should I cover next? Thanks for watching. Stay safe out there.